Okay, hey everybody, this is Grace, and pardon me if with it being so close. I don't know how close it is, but school had just let out to the left, to the right of me, and I just wrapped up a video, and I was going to include what happens when school lets out, and this is behind it. Okay, I had to pause it because there was a girl. I don't know what grade. But she was going to jaywalk. She did jaywalk. And right in front of me. So I don't put other people's kids in my videos. I try really hard not to. I'm not a perfect person. So, and if I do see it like yesterday, I try to do my version of blurring. It's sketching it. And the visual effect. I just started doing that yesterday. So... But anyway, then there was a kid walking. It looked like he was walking by himself. He was probably like first grader, but looked like his granddad was so far behind him. It was like, okay. And anyway, in that video I was saying, you wouldn't believe how fast the traffic is back here behind the school when this is not the school zone. This is the part of it that's not the school zone. And people will fly past here. Man, I'm serious. And sometimes those kinds of shuttle buses, I don't think it's that one, but sometimes those kinds, they will fly through here, you know. Really. Okay, now let's get to this video. I was going to talk about, lately I have become so tired of watching anything except, you know, on social media platforms that are videos, on anything that's other than like cats and kittens or people dancing, you know, doing some new move. Not that into those, but really I get a kick out of the kittens and cats. And I only have dogs. But other stuff, you know, it's just like stuff that's not supposed to be drama, is supposed to be more serious, winds up being about a bunch of drama and people hating one another, and they name the names. I'll talk about the behaviors, but I don't name people's names or their channel names or their whatever. I don't do that. Why are you pulling up like that? Okay. Anyway, I don't know if you can see, but yeah, why in the world, I don't know. I gotta get past this. I gotta stop questioning. Yeah, somebody parked facing me, and last I recall, you don't do that. I'm going to be a school, what is it, hall monitor. You know, we never had those when I was a kid in school. But, yeah, we didn't have much trouble out in the halls. Anyway, what was I talking about? It just totally, just because he came so, you know, coming in hot, really, to park in front of me. He parked the wrong direction. In front of me, facing me, and there's nobody else anywhere behind me, anywhere else in front of me, parked at all. I'm the only person. Some people. But okay, I might as well just continue this one because it's so funny. I realize I'm sitting in front of the house that, or one of them. It might not be this one. I don't know, but because maybe it's not this one. But houses have signs, you know, like those wooden ones, or sometimes they're wooden. I think they're all wooden, and they're, I don't know how many feet tall, and big, you know, big. And it's just, you put it out front, side of your door, on the front, and sometimes they say welcome or hello or, you know, whatever it is. And the other day I saw one over here. I don't know which one it was, but it said go away. Relate to that. Well, what I'm seeing now just says hello, so I don't know. But anyway, now to get back to this. Really, I have got to where I'm so tired of watching stuff online because it's all about hate. It's really all about money, greed, and throwing hate at one another. You know, bad-mouthing one another, making them look bad. Even saying things like calling, you know, I don't want to even say any ethnic group, but say this, two people from the same ethnic group are calling each other or one calls the other racist, and there's nothing that indicates that person is or isn't, and don't we all know that it's been set up to where there's no defense? If somebody calls you that, where's your defense? That you go to court, But they do that, just throwing the hate or calling one another the C word. Oh man, that's verbal abuse. I don't care what you say. I'm a social and behavioral scientist. That's a verbal abuse. And also, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to speak on what it is when you call somebody. Okay, you don't need to be that close. School bus didn't get that close. But I'm going to be bitching here, huh? But if you call anybody racist, sexist, ageist, these kinds of things, just for clicks and views, as people put it. They want clicks and views, and they want to really defame the other side so they don't look good. The other side, the other person doesn't look good. They look bad. So they'll get, the one that's throwing it all out there gets more clicks and views and more money. Basically, it's all about money. And some of it's just about hate, mean girl hate, mean boy hate, adults with those kinds of behaviors, the adults with its power and control issues. And it's just so filthy. Seriously. And that's all I see besides cats and kittens and young people dancing. There's some older people dancing every once in a while. There need to be more around my age. I'd like to see how people around my age, how they dance. I want to watch people's lives and what they go through. I'm a sociologist. Master's degree is in sociology. And I like to see, other people doing, what their life is like. Not like a, weird, but how can you put it, But people who also, like me, share their lives, what goes on in their life. Like you see my neighborhood, this kind of thing. Or people around my age when they go through, like, all the changes. Man, I'm telling you, in my 50s, I always had, as an adult, people telling me, that I looked younger than my age, a lot younger than my age. And once I hit my 50s, it was basically like this past year or so that suddenly I started looking my age, really. Okay, I shut it down because there was a young mom with young boys, and they were running, and she was trying, on the sidewalk, she was trying to catch both of them, and they would just take it off. But I don't put people's kids in my videos. But anyway, what other people around my age do? I don't have that much contact with other people around my age. So, the ones like me who don't mind at least talking about certain things, on video, I like to see that. But in 8 years that I've been making videos on YouTube, and all I thought YouTube was about before then was music and how-tos, like how to fix your plumbing or something, or how to learn a new language. But anyway, all these years, I very seldom ever see that. The first year, I think the first few months I saw quite a bit. But after that, no. Not really. And what I do see are these, people who are, I don't even know what to call them, because they each, some of them say they're in the drama, or some are in, I don't think they usually say they're in the drama community, not necessarily, and I don't think they really call themselves as far as a community, but you get the gist. It winds up being about drama. It winds up being about people talking bad about one another, gossip. Some say that they'll talk about true crime. And some will talk about beauty even. I've seen that. I've seen shopping. I've seen so many different things. But more these days, what I see is this kind of thing. Bad-mouthing one another, back to back to back to back. And it's constant. It was no matter what they're supposed to be talking about, it's more about gossip. And that, like I said, they name one another. I don't do that. I'll talk like this, saying it's a bunch about gossip. Okay, I had to clip that one. Hopefully it'll stay clipped. I've actually done that before, clipped out a part of it and went back and it was there again. I don't know why. But then, since then, I've done it and it clipped them out of it. So, but anyway, the reason was because somebody was traveling, passing me by, and there was a young boy sticking his head out the window. No, you don't allow a kid to stick their head all the way out the window, period. Especially when you're passing somebody, but period, you don't. Like some dogs will do that. My dog used to do that. I'm sure plenty of people had dogs that do that. If you get too close, and that's gonna be a disaster. You don't allow humans to stick their head like that kid was doing. Okay, that's more than a dog just puts its head right there. It was not gonna hang out the door. That kid was hanging out the door. Yeah, my goodness, boy, I am telling you, I am becoming school hall monitor. Did I get it backwards earlier? Anyway, I know, when you were one of those, somebody's gonna do it to you. Don't we all know that? But anyway, okay, so anyway, I got so tired of that. And there was nothing else much on to watch. When I have the time, and I quit using my computer. I had quit smoking. There's something. I quit smoking after 44 years. 44 years of smoking. I quit smoking about 3 months ago. Around 3 months ago. And once I kind of always knew this. I got online first in 1990, but I'm not going to talk about so much of my thoughts about being online and everything. But since then, I quit. My sleeping is pretty much, more recently screwed up and all. And I watch more TV and I fall asleep while I'm watching TV and during the daytime. And but anyway, so I don't like. I used to always watch the videos I like, the people I like on TV, and now I'm just disgusted with it. I'm past disgusted with it. With so much about people calling each other names, and they're grown adults, say in their 40s, 50s, maybe even 60s. The oldest one I know is probably around my age. I'm 59. And, but it's so disgusting. These adult mean girls, adult mean boys. And especially like the men. There's one man especially, like on a panel, and he talks over all the women. I haven't seen him do it to the men, but he will to the women. And like he is the voice of authority, and all the women need to be quiet and listen when he's speaking. And he will talk over a woman while she's trying to say something, but he knows better, so he talks over her. The other day he did something like that, and then the woman just kept talking, and he said, "You are not letting me finish what I'm saying." No, you do that to people, and now somebody's not going to let you cut in. Oh, and so some of these things are so disgusting, and a lot of what they say is so despicable. I mean, using the C word, women calling women, men calling women, men calling anybody, men calling anybody the C word. That's verbal abuse. In the form and the way that they're using it, yeah. And that word, period. The C word. I cannot imagine it ever being used in any way, shape, form, or fashion when it's not verbal abuse. Period. In the full stop. Okay? But other words, too, just throwing them out there, and every other thing is effing this, effing that. Really? You think that sounds mature? And the kicker is when the people say things like, adults cuss. No, not adult. All adults cuss. And they don't cuss as much as you do. But what do they think? Do they think that they get some more clicks and views? It might. It might. Maybe so. It's just disgusting to me. It's turned disgusting. It always has been. Now, I said, used that word a while ago that, was it this video or the last one? I said, man, I just keep bitching. Okay, something like that. That's not me calling somebody a bitch. You know, although I have in my life, I'm not perfect, and I have in my life, male or female, as I say, if you're acting like a bitch, you're a bitch. But what I mean is bitching. You know, when somebody's complaining and, you know, like that, just a bunch of complaints and being mean with it and all that. You know, it's not always complaints. Well, really it is. Yeah, I have to really sit down and think about that. But as far as just calling somebody that for fun, you know, or, you know, I prefer not to use those words myself. But their whole sentence, every bit of their sentence, each one is something, an effing this, and a D that, and a B this, and a C that, and a, you know, oof. And then they turn around and say, adults do this. This is what it is to be an adult. Wow. They're trying to normalize this crap. Normalize that, and normalize that if anybody does do, like I say, I like to see, it's people who are sharing stuff about their lives. You know, how they're dealing with aging, how they deal with their home, their kids. You know, not giving the name and address to all these people. And I'm more on the shy side of talking directly about anybody in my life. I'll do more of a hypothetical, fictional, composite, something like that, of that kind of behavior. But that's me, you know. But they'll say that anybody who does that deserves. Yeah, they use that word sometimes. Or it's implied sometimes, the other times. They deserve trolls and haters and people judging their lives and people calling them this name and that name. You hear my voice get stronger because they put it out there with such aggression. They deserve it. No, they don't. They do not deserve it. You can keep your mouth shut. You know, trolls and haters can be two different things. And they don't have to people don't have to open their mouth and comment on somebody else's life. You don't have to sit there and click, I'm going to talk and tell them how they are. I've seen some people's lives, and I get like, whoa, really? You know, somebody who's in delivery and they video themselves, you know, while they're driving down the road or something like that, and they're doing gross things with their fingers. I'm talking nose, ears, eyes, any orifice is it called? I forgot. On their head, scratching their hair, scratching their faces with these fingernails, coughing over bags of stuff. These kinds of things. You know, that's gross. That's they're delivering food. Okay. You know, I've seen plenty of things that. But am I going to be a real big hater? And really just try to humiliate them in front of everybody and, you know, all that. But there are these other people saying, if you do this, if you talk about your own life, you deserve it. The reason is because they're adult mean girls and they're called commentary or reaction channels, and they want to just be able to do everything they say, everything they want, adult mean girl like, and do it. You know, say all these awful things, and then some of them will then turn around and call themselves Christians. Wow. Wow. While they're GD and everything, and F and everything, and, you know, oh, let me gossip, and name names. I'm not naming names, like I said, I'm pointing out behaviors. There is a difference. There actually is a difference. And I'm tired of seeing that, so where I was going with all this, I have switched over this year. Really, I would go through times when, you know, like I said, well, it wasn't only that I quit smoking, it's also I got on insulin. And it's changed. It's been such a bad thing with me, with doctors and all that, during all this time since the end of March. It's been unbelievable. And during it, a lot of the times when I had free times, I would say, I'm not watching that crap. I'm going to watch, and I started watching like series on Netflix. We got back Prime, and I found I like this one called Tubi. It's and then through Prime there's Freevee. Yeah, different ones, and I'm watching old shows. Okay, old series. I even watched some of Green Acres. But not all of them are all that old. Some of them are like, well, like Stargate, and some of them are still going. Heartland, Call the Midwife. Let's see. Also watch, but more recent ones I've been watching are. Then here's a theme for you. Today I started watching The Librarian again. I've seen them all before, and let's see. Lately it's been that Eureka and Warehouse 13. I've watched both of those, all the series before, and but it's been so long I don't remember all of it. But you can see those three with the theme right there: the Eureka, Warehouse 13, and the Librarians. Yeah. Now that's more up my alley, and you'll find out with things like that instead of. But I don't like all the when people die stuff, when people are mistreated and all that. That I just close my eyes or put my hand in front of my face. Okay, they moved in front of me. Finally left. But anyway, you know, I want to watch something that is. These things are often about artifacts or new technology and or both. You know, they're quite a bit of it's comedy too, but mystery and, you know, things like that along this line. And I like to argue. My minor was anthropology for years until I went to then I had a double major, switched to a double major. And so that kind of stuff, seeing things and just possibilities, you know. And I don't like watching any of those videos where they talk about that because, like somebody brought up the other day about how many of these are photoshopped and such, and, you know, all that kind of thing is just not my thing you know, if fiction is fiction. It's on TV, it's known as to be fiction. These shows are fiction. And that's there. But when people put them out on videos, on whatever social media, like this kind of thing, you know, artifacts and stuff, and put them as though they're real or, you know, spooky stuff or whatever it is. I don't like liars. Really. I don't like fakes, liars, and gossip and scammers and e-beggars, all that stuff. Ugh, no. On TV, I know it's fiction, but I do like to see, like I said, if I could see some people honest. Like a lot of people like to, I don't know how many these days, but I knew for a while there was a trend and people like to watch people who were homesteading. And then some people went through, talked about watching people who are RVing, you know, that kind of thing. But I'm not into either one of those. so, but you see what I'm saying? Nothing like really extremely personal, but, you know, just life, you know, and it's YouTube. I mean, I've actually heard people try to define for other people, besides telling people you don't talk about your own life on YouTube, that you're just setting yourself up. You deserve people to trash mouth you, to talk bad about you because you dare to. It's not for that. Yes, it's because that's what they're doing, and you know, they're actually pointing out the person's name and channel name and all that, and some of them are actually doxing one another, and yeah, all that. But other people, you know, I've heard other things that YouTube is only for. You're just a YouTuber, like YouTuber or whatever, social media. There's several. And telling people what it's for, and they don't work for them. They're not part of that, whatever it is. It's not their business to tell other people what they should and shouldn't do. Now, I would never tell anybody to give out their personal information, their address, phone number, any of that stuff. I would never suggest that to anybody. I've been online since 1990. I would never suggest that to anybody. And I'm not suggesting that to anybody. I'm not suggesting anything to anybody. I'm not giving any form of advice. But these are people I'm talking about actually say what you can and cannot do as if they have a right to. Nerve. You know, the nerve. And of course they're implying they're saying that. Well, some of them won't even say that. Some of them are just rude and say it's not for that purpose. You know, like they're these know-it-alls. You know. Anyway, I went on and on. And I've been doing that lately. I've been every once in a while. It's actually been over time. But the way I put up my videos, sometimes they're all back to back to back, and it looks like I say the same thing every day or every other day. So, no. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.